Hello MouseWorks fans, and welcome to another edition of MouseWorks in the Box Review, Model Kit Review. And for this episode I'm going to be reviewing the Takom new release of the StuH, StuH 42, and Stug III G late production. It can be built either way. I think I'll build it as the StuH, which is the Haubitz, which is kind of a mortar system. And this is their 2-in-1 1/35th scale kit. It's in their Blitz series, and it is a brand new one. So lots of goodies in this one. So we'll take a look at it and see what it's got and see what it's not. Okay, so this is the kit. The StuH 42 Stug III G late production 2-in-1 kit by Takom, and it's in their Blitz series. It does come with, they're showing 2 different aluminum barrels, and hatch is going to be built in the open position, detailed static display model kit, Lincoln length style tracks, figure not included, 4 types of markings and photo etched parts as well, plus again the metal barrel. So show you the side here. It shows the different decal versions that they give you. There's a couple open skirt ones, couple with the skirts on with the short StuH, which is the Haubitz version. Same on the side, and then this side shows a layout of all the sprues, plastic sprues. There's the stainless steel skirts, photo etch brass, and decals, and then your metal barrels, cable, and all that good stuff. Alrighty, so we will pop this open and see what's inside, and we'll start taking these out one at a time and go through it like that. Okay, so we've got this first piece here, and Takom puts these in a resealable little baggie here with an adhesive opening, which is kind of nice. You can always rebag it and reseal it. So the first one here is going to be the actual turret, if you want to call it that. It's not swinging turret, but it's the casemate, I guess you could call it that. Now this looks pretty darn nice. It's all slide molded, so you don't have to build any of this up. It's all pre-built, which is sort of the idea behind the Blitz kits. One thing that I do like is that it's got knockout pins on these extensions, so that way they don't have to put knockout pins anywhere else and get it marked up. So if you want to do interior or whatever, makes it a little easier. I'll give you some close-up shots later on, but there is some really nice detail, some very, very fine weld marks on weld seams on all these flat plate pieces. So some people might want them to be a little bigger and basically do their own welds, but they're there, and they should pop out with a wash or something like that. So looking pretty good, like that. All right, let's get the next part out and see what we got there. Okay, next one is the chassis. Let's see if this one opens. Okay, well, that one didn't open quite like it was supposed to, but anyways. Okay, so we got the lower chassis, and this is looking pretty excellent. Nice crisp details. Again, a lack of parts, which makes it real nice. You normally have to put these on, but they put them on for you. And they still got a high level of detail because they're using slide mold technology to get all these little undercuts and so forth. So that looks real good. Looks pretty square too. A lot of times when they do a tub style hull like that, it gets tweaked on the inside. So we'll have to see how, when I build it up, whether the upper plates actually will fit in there or if I have to tweak it around. But it does look pretty straight. So pretty nice detail, little bolts and all that good stuff. Okay, moving right along. Next one. There we go. And I got to mention, one nice thing about this kit was it was only 35 bucks. So I'm normally not a Stug fan. I've done one that was in Syrian markings for the 6-Day War, and but I'm not really a big fan of them. But for 35 bucks and such a nice kit, all the details, it was definitely worth it. It's going to be a fun little quick build. Okay, so we got sprue N. Again, Takom does a really nice job of making these letters hollow, so you can actually see them real easily, and you don't have to remark them with a pen or anything like that. So easy to pick out. And it looks like this is mostly the gun mantlet system here. Some of the cupola parts, which is detailed inside and out. And looks like they put the knockout pins on the correct side, which is nice. The gun breech, we'll have to see if that goes in there. The guns here, excellent detail. I mean, really nice. Just that they have the little knockout pins off the side. Those will be taking some cleanup, but they're really thin where they attach the attach points. So that's kind of nice that Takom's thinking about that. If you want to use a plastic barrel, there's the plastic barrel for the StuH III, and slide molded on the gun end here. Let's go to the next piece. And this looks like it's the upper hull. And this is pretty much the first time I'm unbagging all this stuff, so I'm seeing it at the same time you do. So, alright. So we've got the upper hull. Again, really fine weld marks, really nice detail with the slide molding, hatch hinges and so forth. They're real clean. And there is a texture on here, the steel grip texture, the diamond plate, so to speak, and it's really fine. A lot of times, a lot of the Dragon kits, they made it really overdone, and it looked kind of funny. But this is really fine. So it's deep too. It's fine detail, but it's deep. You can actually hear it there. So that should take a wash real good too. Rear hatches, they don't have those openable, but the front ones are all openable, and that looks real good. Okay, next up, this one's got 2 bags in one. Let's do this one first. And it looks like the, let's see if I can get a pull out here real quick. Get it all in there. Okay. So this one's got the top of the casemate, and with the Commander's cupola here, and real nice smooth. I do love the Takom plastic. I love the texture of the plastic and the ease of using it. It's a soft plastic, but they get all these details out of the soft plastic, which is nice. So, and this looks like some of the intakes, air intakes here. And some of the mantlet pieces. They give you 2 mantlets, one with a spotting area here, so it's a vision port for the gunner, and then they both have texture on them, which is nice too. I'll get a close-up of that. But that looks really good. That's sprue D, and they do give you a mantlet cover, which is nice. You don't have to make one of those, which is excellent. Then the bag that was within a bag, this is in a zip bag. I'm guessing this is for the other version, either the StuH, different casemate, different shape, different details on it. So that's nice that they're getting really accurate, and then they give you the whole thing instead of having you do a bunch of pieces to make it the version you want. Okay, the next up, moving right along. Okay, this one looks like it's all the, it's 2 of the same exact piece here, so we'll set one aside. And this is all the wheels and the idler gears and the drive sprockets. Looking really, really sharp. I love the fact that they're hollow and they're nice and clean. I mean, really, really clean. And they even have the word Continental embossed on them. They're very small, but if you drew a dry brush on that, it'll pop right out. It'll be pretty neat. Some of the axles here, and you can kind of see the dry sprockets really super detailed too, really accurate. Looks like a lot of little parts here. Some of the lights, the headlights there, some of the brackets and so forth. So Looking good. Next up is the link and length track, and I am becoming a real fan of link and length track. I do have my own system for doing individual track links. This little guy right here, give you a quick view of that. This is made by Trumpeter, and it's made for setting up the track and gluing it together. This is the most handy tool I've ever run into. Makes doing individual pieces of track really easy. But I do like link and length just because if they do a nice detail, it makes it a lot quicker to build. So there's the links, and then these are the lengths here, and they are really clean. The cleats are nice and deep, and they are actually shaped to sag on the upper idler rollers, so that's going to be a real nice help. Just drop them in and glue them up and you're ready to go. And there's two of those in the bag. Okay, next up is another double, and this one looks like some more idlers. This is StuH E. Okay. And it's got one of the idlers, some of the small upper rollers, looks like. Some more details, small brackets, some looks like cleats, which are square, which is interesting because I believe the real ones were square. Then they have some cable hawsers, and they're actually, or cable ends, and they're slide molded, so they do have a hole in them. That's really nice. And there's two of those in that bag. Okay. Interesting, some of these parts are in Ziploc bags. I wonder if those are just the newer parts from some of their older versions, or they just ran out of the other bags. Hard to say. Okay, this looks like it's StuH C. Looks like it's the jack, and lots of parts to the jack, so it should be nice and detailed. So pretty sharp there. Okay. Moving along to the next ones. This is the last of the plastics. So even though this is a Blitz kit and it's supposed to be simplified, there's still a lot of parts in this kit. I mean, it's going to be a challenge, but I know Takom kits, and they usually fit pretty well, with a few exceptions. Okay, this is M. So this should be just for the new version. It has some of the plates with the bolt heads, and these are actually bolt shaped. They're double stacked levels. It's kind of hard to see. I'll try to get some close-ups to show that they're not just bumps like some companies just do the bumps. So a bunch of different places or plates to go on the casemate, and just little rods, just little teeny tiny pieces. There's a fire extinguisher, all that good stuff. More of the cable ends with the slide molded holes. Alright, so that's it for the plastics. Let's see what we got left. Okay, this little bag's got all the special details in it. We've got photo-etched brass, which is very nice and clean as usual on these kits. Detail, three-dimensional detail on one side, flat on the other, so always make sure you get the right side. This is also skinned with plastic, so you can kind of see it reflecting there, but it's kind of nice. You don't want to take all that off when you take the parts out. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut the pieces and slice the skin, so you actually peel the skin off, work on that piece, take it out, and none of the other ones are damaged. And then when you want to go to the next one, they're still skinned up. So be sure to leave that skin on there until you're ready to actually do whichever part it is. They look really nice, nice and clean. There is the barrels, one short, one long, aluminum. That's what makes the whole kit worthwhile. For 35 bucks, you buy these separate, that's another 10-15 bucks right there just for the barrels if you were to buy them separate. Decals, gives you all the different versions that are on the side of the box. Some cable, luckily it is copper cable, so it's nice and flexible. I always think these are a little too small, but I guess after you paint them, it will be not too bad. Plus, kit probably didn't have very big cables anyways, but they give you a nice length of that. And there is the side skirts, or the Schützen, and these are actually made out of a stainless steel. Well, I guess they do that to keep them flat. I guess if it was brass, they might get warped or dinged too much. But anyways, they give you all the pieces. You cut them out just like photo etch. It's still the same thickness. And then glue them on with a super glue or epoxy. Okay, now we're going to look at the instructions. It's a small instruction sheet because it's in a smaller box. Nice box art or instruction art. First page shows kind of how the tips and hints. Gives you a layout of all the sprues and all the parts. Then they go into the road wheels. And I didn't notice on the road wheels, I'll have to check and see if they actually molded them on the edge, because then there won't be a seam down the middle. And then looks like all the rear exhaust system. There's the link and length track, which is really nice. And then the upper casemate, or lower hull, upper lower hull, whatever you want to call it. Alright. At least they're making it clear of where you're supposed to drill holes for things. A lot of times they put these little things up in the corner or way over here, and you miss them, and you've already glued the part together, and then you have to figure out how to do the holes. But this is nice because it's nice and clear. There's the casemate, and then they even have some brackets for doing some stowage, so there's going to be lots of stowage you can put on these. Stowage that fits the Dragon kits, I assume will fit this one. And there's the Schützen for the side. You can do it in individual pieces or whichever you want. There's the guns. Long, short, all like that. Metal barrel or plastic. You can do it either way. And that fits in there. No real detail on the back inside, but you won't see that anyways. And the upper casemate with the guns there. And the whole top fits on. Moving right along, and it shows you the different versions, tells you which ones you need to look for. 28 number 1 is for the short StuH, and then StuH G. And so they make it nice and clear so you don't make a mistake in that. And then is the color callouts. I always love this. Only thing I kind of is a bummer, but I understand they have a contract, but they show the ammo by MIG, so they have a contract that they'll just suggest ammo colors because ammo will do the artwork for them. So it's kind of a trade-off, but unfortunately they don't show any other brands to me or anything like that. You'll have to go online. There is a neat program that you can download on your phone called Hobby Color Converter, and it will take any of these colors from any of the brands and show you what is the closest mix in other brands. So it's a free download too. Alright. It doesn't work on Apple though, unfortunately. Then there's a white winter camouflage. They kind of show weathering on it, which is really neat. They show, instead of just being a paint job, they actually show what it might look like if it was all muddy and stuff. And there's the last one there. So, and then that is it on that. That is it on the kit. I will do some close-ups so you guys can see in more detail some of the stuff I was talking about. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And as always, be sure to subscribe so you get all my updates and all my new videos. And hit the bell and hit the like and hit all that stuff so I can actually see who's watching and whether you guys really like this stuff. And comment below, and just keep on modeling.